Kendall Jenner finally addressed a long running internet rumor in her own words. She says she doesn't identify as gay, and she explained what actually bothers her about the conversation online. But the most interesting part isn't the yes or no. It's what her response reveals about how the internet turns speculation into a storyline that can follow someone for years. According to publicly available coverage of her appearance on the In Your Dreams podcast, Kendall acknowledged that there's a corner of the internet that assumes she's a lesbian. Then she immediately shifted the focus to something many people ignore: the tone. She reportedly said what bothers her is how mean people can be about it, less like, if you were, you'd be welcome, and more like judgment. That one detail flips the entire story because it's not really about a label, it's about how quickly people turn a person into a punchline. So, what did she actually clarify in a way that's fair to repeat? Reportedly, she said that as of today, she is not, and that if she were, she believes she'd be out at this point in her life. Notice the careful framing. She spoke for herself, knowing me, while also acknowledging that coming out isn't easy for many people. That balance matters because it avoids turning her personal situation into a rule for everyone else. Why do some rumors stick even when there's no solid evidence? Often it's repetition. One post becomes 10, 10 become a narrative, and eventually people treat familiarity like confirmation. The internet doesn't always reward accuracy, it rewards what gets repeated, remixed, stitched, and argued about, especially if it can be reduced to a simple secret people feel like they've uncovered. And Kendall also pushed back on another layer that tends to pop up in celebrity speculation: the idea that identity is a business strategy. She reportedly referenced seeing comments suggesting it would be bad for business and questioned how that logic even makes sense. That's a twist people skip, because once speculation turns into motive guessing, it stops being harmless talk and starts pressuring someone to defend themselves from a story they never wrote. If you've ever wondered why some public figures avoid addressing rumors, this is why. Responding can feel like feeding the machine. Silence gets framed as hiding, but responding can amplify the rumor even more. And on social media, even a calm clarification can get clipped into something harsher than what was actually said. Another overlooked piece is how privacy itself gets misread. Kendall has said in past interviews that she prefers to keep relationships more protected and sacred, and that bringing everything into public view can make life messier. Whether someone agrees with that approach or not, it helps explain why the internet fills in blanks when it doesn't get details. The less access people have, the more they speculate, and sometimes the more confident they sound while still having no real confirmation. And just to keep this responsible, who someone has dated publicly doesn't prove or disprove anything about sexuality, and it doesn't justify invasive certainty. That's why the only clean anchor here is what she stated about herself in that conversation, as it's been reported. She doesn't identify as gay today. She would be open about it if she did. And she doesn't like the cruelty wrapped around the rumor. The bigger takeaway is about online behavior, not celebrity drama. The internet is excellent at building narratives and not always great at knowing when to stop. When speculation becomes entertainment, boundaries start getting treated like mysteries, which is exactly how rumor culture keeps running. So the real question isn't, why didn't she address this sooner? The real question is, why do we treat repeated speculation like it's a public duty to answer? Next, I'm breaking down the anatomy of viral rumors, the common evidence patterns people use, why repetition feels like proof, and how public figures try to set boundaries without escalating the story. Because once you see the pattern, you start noticing it everywhere, and you'll think twice before trusting anything that begins with everyone knows or people are saying.